Thank you for staying with us. If media reports are anything to go by, the Federal Road Safety Corps might be considering seeking permission for its officials to bear firearms. FRSC says, considering the level of security challenges across the country, it needs to protect itself for such. However, there are also media reports that the FRSC does not wish for its personnel to carry arms. But if the consideration were true, would it be right for road law enforcers to bear arms? Joining us in the studio is security consultant Darlington Umoru to speak to us on this. Darlington, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. I don't know why you're smiling, but the question is...
I'm even laughing.
Should FRSC officials, that's the Federal Road Safety Corps officials, bear arms? Because the matter has to do with the level of insecurity, and there's the need for them to protect themselves, even though they have come out to debunk that statement.
Protect themselves.
Yes, they need, when the need arises. I need to add that.
Protect themselves.
When the need arises. Should they?
And you were looking at me and you were asking, like you're seeing me smiling or laughing.
It's a question. That's why you're here.
That's all right. That's why I'm here. And we're going to speak to the issue.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And you want me to tell you the truth?
Of course.
It's an abuse. It's not just an aberration, it's an abuse. The proliferation of small arms and light weapons in the country at the moment, the magnitude is responsible for the level of crime we're experiencing today. I've said this over and over again. Without the enemy bearing firearm, there's no way they can overwhelm you or the other person. The country today is suffering from too much illicit circulation of firearms. The act that set up the road safety. I've read in some places, they say it also has a proviso that sometimes they could bear firearms. It's an abuse. We are abusing bearing firearms in this country.
How so?
Once you're given uniform, the next thing you want to do, the next consideration is how you will bear firearms that gives you that authority. What is the primary responsibility of the Federal Road Safety Corps? What's their responsibility? Make the roads safe. Help commuters control their speed. Have the document that permits you to be on the road, the driver's license. Beyond that, what's your responsibility? Are they going to be tackling terrorists when the need arises?
Perhaps if they
considering their safety,
yes,
when the need arises, that will have to do with armed robbers
or kidnappers.
Did you notice? Did you see a video that trended recently in the southeast where unknown gunmen?
Yes,
seized
I saw that. I saw that.
And then the man's life was spared simply because he was an Igbo person, according to the unknown gunmen. And this man, you know, the way it was...
That was not basically why his life was spared.
Why was it spared?
Those men who said they were not ESN members, they were not IPOB, that they were liberation fighters. That was the way he described himself. He said they were sparing his life, even though he was working in his own terms for the zoo, but that he was not bearing a firearm. As at the time he was accosted, that if he were bearing firearm, the man even went ahead to say that they were, in his own words, not licensed, road safety, they were, even the police, not licensed to bear arms, that the only people who are meant to bear arms were they. He spared his life because they didn't find any shotgun on him or
So invariably, if they are to bear firearms, it could even endanger them.
What
Don't
if
mind
they
that.
were not liberation, whatever they call themselves? What if they were the ESN, the unknown gunmen, as
How do you know
they call them?
exactly whom he was representing? Where did we get the factions that have broken away from? Where is the original body? Is it not ESN? ESN, according to Imam Powerful, is the militant body
Of
IPOB. And they were armed to tackle kidnappers in the bushes and farms, infiltrators and all of that. But I think that's a subject for another day. Okay, I think that's a subject for another day. But they spared the life of the road safety official. Aside from, have they not execute members from the southeast who were in the military? Even a lady, there was one who took the husband home to introduce to her family. But because she was a military woman, what happened?
She was butchered and all.
So that is a topic on its own. But the sincerity from what you said was because the man was not just a road safety officer, but was not bearing firearm. Assuming even as a road safety officer, he was from the southeast and was carrying a firearm, we don't know what would have happened to him. But the truth is, I do not understand it, that once you have uniform, you forget about your primary responsibility. How many road safety officers have been kidnapped? How many road safety officers have been attacked with firearms? And then you say to defend yourself when the need, you have the security agents who are meant to do that for you. It's not your responsibility. You want to shoot at the man who is driving, who wants to beat you, or who does not have a driver's license.
Are overwhelmed with so much already.
They are a part of them, so let them talk with them. Are they not part of them? They are a part of the system. They have their primary responsibility. Make the roads safe. Control those of them, whether you're overspeeding or first they want to check whether you're licensed to drive, so that you make the road also safe for other users.
Right.
And eventually you don't even have the experience. You're on the highway or on federal roads. Come on. We had some of these issues when at a time in Lagos State, they were chased away from the inner roads. They were taken away from the inner road because sometimes they were even causing more problems that they were supposed to solve inside Lagos.
We're talking about the Federal Road Safety Corps considering seeking permission for its officials to bear firearms, even though they have come out to debunk that statement. And we still have our guest, security consultant Darlington Umoru, in the studio talking with us on this. And Darlington, you were saying before we went on the break that perhaps what might happen next is we see last mile officials asking to bear firearms and every other VIO other uniform personnel are looking to bear firearms. But let's critically look at their safety so far, talking about the Federal Road Safety Corps. Isn't it possible that they might be encountering some danger on the road that we do not perhaps really understand why they are making this demands?
That involves firearms?
Yes, that might be.
Any records?
We don't have that.
You see, when we're talking, let's talk from antecedents. Let's talk reality. We need them on the road. They are very, very essential. I've traveled by road, and sometimes you break speed when you met them on the road. Particularly, it's either they are flagging you down to minimize or sometimes you get carried away.
Yeah.
Because you want to get to your destination quicker than you ordinarily you're supposed to have achieved. And then you found some of them on the express. They'll be asking you to slow down, take it easy.
Yeah.
There was an instance on this Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, an experience, where a vehicle, this driver was on top speed. And somewhere before the bridge, the diversion to Benin, the Ore axis, there were these road safety officials that were flagging that guy down. Nobody knew what was happening. Few kilometers after that spot, the guy crashed and died.
My goodness.
And when they rushed there, because these road safety officials also do a lot.
Yes.
They also help to carry accident victims to hospitals.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of job they do.
First aid, yeah.
Very wonderful. Safety, that safety in their name. They walk alongside that, and they answer that name truly. That guy crashed. By the time they got to that spot, it was the same guy they were flagging at. But, of course, you wouldn't know what was going through the mind of that man, what I was saying at the point of driving. But where they have issues, when you disobey, they take your number plate. They take a picture of your number plate and send you your ticket. I've even seen situations where some of them carry a POS machine. There and there, you pay your fine. Okay? But in terms of risk, security risk, I find it difficult to really relate it. Well, we've seen situations where some people will not want to stop.
Yeah.
Maybe because they are not bearing firearms. You flag them down, the guy zooms off.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes again, there are other issues. You know, why some people will not want to stop. But are you saying it's when you now bear firearms, when you ask the man to stop, the man will not stop, or the man will want to stop? Would that influence anything? Or it's just that? That's why I was glad that aside from the man who read Bill's speech, and not that something PRO or something on education matters came up to say, no, that wasn't from them. And then you see the
contradictions.
You see the contradiction. But again, this matter didn't start today.
Yeah, 1990.
Sometimes it's like they're using it to test the waters. You dip one foot and you see the reactions of the public, and then you know what to do. I think that was exactly what happened. Because somebody wouldn't have been reading the speech of Bill and said that, and would have been saying that on his own.
Of course.
When the speech was not his personal speech. It was actually the speech of his boss. I do not have those facts, but common sense is telling me that something was actually wrong. Maybe somebody was trying to test the waters. Let's say this, and then see the reaction from the public, and then whichever way it goes, we now know what to do next. Apparently, because it didn't go well, this is my own opinion now, no fact to support that, personal opinion now. Maybe because it didn't go well, and then another person now say, let's do damage control immediately so that people will not take it differently. But the message is out.
Out there.
We've had this severally. Not even in 2020. We had the same thing where the House of Reps committee then, when the commercial was there to defend the budget, he even said it, that there's need for the federal road safety officials to begin to bear firearms. That didn't go well. I think there was a bill, that whether stopped that or promoted it or something, that 2020, 2021. So 2 years after, the thing has resonated again.
Surfacing.
So we do not really know, but I do not think right now Nigeria should be looking on how to mop up firearms from circulation. There's too much of it. These wars in neighboring countries. You'll be shocked that even the war between Iraq and Iran may even help the movement of firearms and ammunition from that region, eastern part of Europe now, down to Africa. You'll be very shocked. Because I saw something when this war broke. When this war first broke between Russia and Ukraine, I saw where the Ukraine government provided firearms and ammunition. They were dropping them. People were just coming to pick. Oh, if you can handle it. Many of these people can't even handle those firearms. Firearms is not about you carrying it and pulling the trigger. No. But most of those ones will not find their way to the theater.
Of course.
Many of them will be taken by those who want to trade with them. That is the kind of thing that happens where nobody gives account. You go to, even when you open an armory, the armory manager or the supervisor does not take record of you, does not take your data, does not take anything from you. They just say pick and go to war front. The businessmen, those of them who deal on this, it's another means of saying take free firearms and go to the black market and sell.
Well, it's so sad, but then we can't countenance the fact that security issues, prevailing security challenges, bedeviling this country. But if they can't bear firearms, can they at least have
how should they protect themselves?
Exactly, in armored vehicles, at least, for instance. For instance, we had one that also happened in River State, where an Okada rider told the police officers, raised a false alarm, and that's how they were killed. So can they at least be moving about in armored vehicles?
Then you have given them firearms. You're talking about, we're talking about small weapons. Now you are moving into light weapons, a bigger one. We're talking about, we're saying there's a difference between small arms and light weapons. Small arms, there's firearms, the one we call small arms, are those that one person can operate. You carry a shotgun, you carry an assault rifle, gun, all within that.
Vehicles, I'm saying vehicles that protect them, that when they are shot at, it can penetrate. That's the point I'm making.
You're talking about bulletproof vehicles.
Oh, bulletproof vehicle. Well, that's
moving on to
that's a word.
light weapons. Light weapons are those that are operated by 2 or more persons, not one person. So you are talking about bulletproof vehicles. Wonderful. But I think it's rare where we've had situations where road safety officials were attacked by gunmen and were shot at or killed. I think it's rare. I can't.
If they could shoot at.
So invariably, you're saying they are not really in harm's way. They are not. Really...
They are not in that category at all. They don't. Nobody wants. The simple thing. Sometimes they even tell you to go. The thing you suffer from them is they don't go where you have armed robbery situations. They don't go where you have kidnap situations to rescue people. They don't go to theater where you have terrorists. So I don't get it. So if you are talking or even talking about what did I call it just now? Vehicles that are bulletproof
vehicles.
You know, what is the need for? That's why quickly they retracted that statement. Because I do not see the need at all. I do not. Their primary responsibility does not encourage any danger. Except you want to say somebody want to run into them, which is also rare. So there has to be, if you want to begin to ask government, federal government to give you the license to bear firearms, you should have situations where you use to back that up. Oh, in A and A, this one's were attacked, in this point, you use that to apply. And then the government will begin to look at, then they look at your activities. What are your primary responsibilities? Are you really endangered? Yes, are you exposed to danger to people who are bearing firearms? If you were customs now, or you go to stand at the border point where customs will be, tackling, what do you call it?
Those who come in illegally.
Yes, those coming in, there's a common name for them.
Those who also bring in vehicles illegally and all that.
Yes, if you are at that point, because those guys, when they come, smugglers, forgive me, that was the word I was looking for. If you were at the point where smugglers are coming, those smugglers in most times are armed, then it's understood. That's the responsibility of customs. And that the next people you find there are immigration and police. Okay? Yours is to maintain the highways and the express to ensure that there's safety. The primary responsibility, look, the original intent for road safety was not money making. It was not about money making. It was just, okay, oh, no, you are speeding too much. Please, your tires are not good. Go change them and all of that. But the kind of people we are in Nigeria, without what you call penalty, sometimes we don't sit up or do the right thing. That's why this idea of fines will not come in, so that next time you will not want to do or commit that offense anymore. You'll be more careful.
Mr. Umoru, if they can't bear firearms, are there other safety mechanisms that they can
Yes.
for their own personal safety?
Yes. Give them policemen.
Wouldn't that be duplication of?
No. You have last man in Lagos. They go with policemen because they don't have the powers to arrest.
Yeah.
It's those policemen in their midst that will do the arrest. It's not the policemen that are doing the job. They are only asked to do this. You as a private individual, as VIP, VVIPs, don't you go with policemen for protection. The VIPs and VVIPs, they go about with policemen to cover them up in case those police are those responsible for internal security matters. Okay? So the best or worst that could happen or is supposed to happen is if they think their lives are in danger, then police should be deployed to protect them. Those police will bear firearms, but will not be doing their jobs, will not be carrying out their responsibilities. Yeah. Theirs will just be there to police and safeguard them. Period. I think that we have too much illicit arms. Theirs is not illicit if it's approved by federal government.
That's right.
But we are saying at the moment that there's too much. We cannot give every agency the license to bear firearms. No. I don't think that is the best way to go.
Right.
The solution, I think, is if their lives are in danger and they need protection, not soldier, police. Police should be provided for them.
Why did you raise alarm? Not soldier.
Yes, because the military is overstretched.
Right.
The military is overstretched. They are deployed into different places, and when at the time they are needed in certain places, you may not have the number.
They're not supposed to be within the country.
They're not even that in territorial integrity. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But today, you want to do election, you deploy the military.
Okay.
Today, you want to police the roads. You have ops, Mensa, something, and all of that.
We're still looking at the matter of the Federal Road Safety Corps seeking permission for its officials to bear firearms. Like we mentioned earlier, they have come out to debunk the statement. And we have a security consultant, Darlington Umoru, in the studio with us, still talking about this and the fact that it is not necessary, if I hear you correctly. But then let's look perhaps closely at the security situation in the country as it is and how it is affecting some of these agencies with regards to delivering on their mandates as given them by the federal government, if we are paying the needed attention to addressing it, because they contribute one way or the other to the sanity we see in the society.
That's why they are set up, and then are given constitutional responsibility.
Absolutely.
So ordinarily, they are not there for a tea break, lunch, or dinner.
Definitely.
They are meant to do certain things for you and I, just like you are carrying out your own responsibility here and now. So in every organization, in every of the agencies, they have their primary responsibility. And that's why sometimes we also talked about synergy. They have to connect one way or the other and work in harmony.
And that was one thing the president harped on when he came in.
Yes.
It has to be synergy.
Yes.
Right.
And you don't overlap. You know your primary duties. So once it's for A, Mr. President also talked about, what did he call it? What we call situation room. What did he call it the other time? Clearing, he called it clearing, not room now. I've forgotten exactly the words that were used by Mr. President. But even so, the security situation in the country was worse at the time. But I think at the moment, it's a bit good. I don't know if you remember at a point in time, virtually every week, you call me here to come and analyze a situation where terrorists have killed people virtually on a daily basis. You wake up with the news, in short. There's also places that have been bombed. A church, mosque were not spared. Religious organizations and all of that were not spared. And so who are those who were facing these terrorists, these bandits, these armed robbers? The same security agencies and the military, are those still managing the situation for you and I. But how encouraged have they, how much encouragement have they received from the government over time? It's not been encouraging. The story has not been very good. You remember at a point in time, even the equipment they were handling were moribund.
Yes.
That was why we had what was referred to, what was defined as tactical withdrawal at the time, where some of our men strayed into another country. And then, I don't want to mention that country, military men of that country led our superior men into this country. That was because the right things were not in place. They never had the right equipment. They were not able to tackle these terrorists who had superior equipment at the time to fight this war at the theater.
All right. We'll have to leave the conversation here now because our time is up. But we must thank you, security consultant Darlington Umoru, for your position on this matter. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure, any time. But don't forget, it's 2-0. We'll come back to that.
I don't understand what you're saying. Our viewers don't understand what you're saying.
Everyone is at sea.
All right.
Thank you very much. It's a nice one.
Yes.